Aloha, everyone. And if you saw me do this earlier, it's because I did, and something happened to the upload and it was gone. So here I am, back again. Welcome to day 46 of my 100 Lives in 100 Days challenge. So tonight is special because we're doing the conclusion of Get Paid to Speak by Kaylee Chu and Brian Tracy. And it was so good to just go through that book because, like I said, I invest in trainings with Kaylee Chu. I am in the 100, I'm with the 100 Speakers Club, and then I am in her inner circle and the Get Paid to Speak Mastermind. So that is where I learn a lot of my training. And so tonight was special because we get to conclude that final chapter of the Get Paid to Speak book. And honestly, this ending feels bigger than just public speaking because this entire journey has really been about transformation, about finding your voice, finding your confidence and courage, and realizing that your story has value. The conclusion of this book says something so powerful that there are no limits to what you can accomplish in this wonderful world of paid professional speaking. But as you know, if you've been with me before, my name is Michelle Ebalaroza Kawano, and I have not only spoke on international stages, I have published now 4 books. I have an award-winning book. I've been in magazines and TV, and it's been amazing. But when I say voice, I don't just mean your audible voice. I mean your freedom of expression. And so that is why this book, this time spent with you talking about um, the Get Paid to Speak book with Kaylee Chu and Brian Tracy has been so amazing. And I thank you for staying with me and being with me. But truly, there is no limits to what you can accomplish in whatever you choose to express your voice in. Okay. So I want to go a little bit deeper than that. Not a little, but a lot. There are no limits to what God can do through a willing person. So when I say give God your messy yeses, that is what I mean, because there is no limits at all. Not age, not your past, not your mistakes or traumas that happen, not your education level, not even your title, not even your fears. The only real limits are often the ones that we place on ourselves. And so, if you think about it, that hit me deeply because I know that there are so many people that are carrying gifts that they never fully released into the world because fear convinced them to stay small. Fear says, who are you to speak? Who would even listen? What if you fail? What if you embarrass yourself? But purpose says, try anyway. Growth says, learn anyway. Faith says, trust God anyway. And courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite of that fear. That is true courage. This book also emphasized something over and over again, that speaking is a learnable skill, but isn't everything. Anything that you want to do, anything that you want to learn, I homeschooled my kids, and I told them, anything you want to learn, anything you want to read, read. I never held them back, not their age. Their age didn't determine what they learned, it's their ability. So, as my daughter was reading and started reading more and more, and I allowed her to read bigger books, even though she was little, she was reading in a fifth grade level at what, 6, 7? I don't know. She was very young, and she was reading well advanced in her years. So, like I said, it's not, there's no limit. It's not what the guidelines and the boxes that the world wants to put you in. It's not that. Speaking is a learnable skill, and so is everything else that you want to learn. If you're determined enough to learn anything, try anything, you can do it. I taught myself how to paint. I never knew how to paint. I never painted before. I painted. I never published a book. Now I've published 4. And I helped 11 other authors get their stories in print. And some of them were first-time authors. So you don't know the possibilities that God has in store for you when you give him your messy yeses. Confidence is built. It's built, right? I love that, because confidence is not something only special people receive. It is truly built. And one comfortable moment at a time, one live at a time, coming on live, doing these things, not caring about the way you look or how you sound, just coming on. One speech at a time, one act of courage at a time. That is how confidence is built. That's one reason that these 100 lives in 100 days challenge, this challenge matters so much to me, because I'm not just teaching and coming in for 100 days. I'm stretching too. I'm growing publicly. And let me tell you something. Growth can feel awkward. Truly awkward. There are days that, you feel tired, that you feel like you rather not, I was watching a movie with my husband, and you get pretty relaxed and everything. And I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to go to bed, because he said he's going to go to bed. And I was like, I'll just go to bed. But I never recorded my live yet. So I stayed up to do it, and then waited and waited. And then it was gone. It disappeared somehow. The upload didn't happen. So even though the box was there with a little, it wasn't even the video. It was just a picture. It was actually my banner graphic. And I click on it and it says it's not available. I was like, oh no, what happened? So anyway, I'm here again. But as I said, growth can feel awkward. There's days when, you're not going to want to do it. There's days that you're going to question yourself. Wonder if anybody is really listening. Days that you feel imperfect. No one's really perfect, but you'll feel even worse. But consistency changes you. It does. You become stronger, clearer, more confident, more disciplined in what you need to do. You're back all the time, no matter what. But discipline isn't something that's going to change overnight. It's going to change in time. That's how transformation works. The conclusion of this book also talked about moving outside your comfort zone. Most people want transformation without the discomfort. And yeah, let me tell you, transformation can be very uncomfortable. But diamonds are formed under pressure. Character is developed under pressure. And strength is developed under pressure. I was a complete gym rat at one time, and I used to love lifting weights. And so when I go to the gym now, it's kind of like a depressed feeling when I hit the weights because I struggle with what was like so easy for me. I struggle with it now. But I have to continuously remind myself that if I want to get back to where I was, and if I want to lose this weight, if I want to rid myself of this weight, I'm going to have to get in there. I'm going to have to go to the gym. I'm going to have to work out when it feels terrible because I know what it was like before. But then when I think about what it was before, didn't I have to start someplace also back then? And so it's the same thing now, but just the knowing, just the thought, just the knowledge of me being the way I was before puts a damper on what I'm doing now. And I believe that it's the way for many people. Maybe you've succeeded at something, you're really good at something, and now at this day and age you're not there anymore, and you're like, oh, how do I ever get back to where I was? And it feels impossible. But it takes courage to continue. Strength is developed under pressure. Even healing requires courage. That's why I mentioned my own life, because I can only speak from my own experiences. I can't speak of another. But I believe if I gone through it, if I went through it and the things that I've done, there's someone out there that's doing the same. The woman I am today is not the same woman I was years ago. There was a time when I was so weak, and I felt so damaged at that time, with the domestic violence and all of that. It was hard. And I know what I got through. And then there was that period where I was like, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to beat this. I'm going to change. And I did. And then I'm here now. So there was a post that I made, and I said, I am not the person that I was, but I thank God that I'm not the person that I began with, right? I'm better than before. I'm better than before, but I'm not like the same that I was way back in the past. So I have to have grace for myself. I have to have grace for myself. I'm not that same woman. Pain changed me. Loss changed me. Life changed me. And most of all, faith changed me, and healing changed me. And honestly, using my voice changed me too, because I am a better speaker, more confident, and the knowledge of knowing that my voice matters is huge, because there is power in speaking life. There is power in your words. There is power in your testimony. So that is why you need to share it, because there is power in sharing testimony. There is power in refusing to stay silent after everything you survived. Some of you watching tonight have stories inside of you that could help heal other people. But the enemy convinces you that your story is too messy, or it's not enough, or what can you possibly do? No. Your story may be the bridge that helps somebody else survive. That is how important your voice is. That is why authenticity matters more than being perfect. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with truth, with vulnerability, with humanity and hope. One thing I loved about this conclusion was the reminder that persistence matters, not perfection, persistence. The people who grow are usually the people who refuse to quit. And I know somebody watching tonight needed to hear that reminder. Last night, if you were with me, I read the poem, Don't Quit. Do not quit on yourself. Do not quit on your healing or your dreams or your calling. Rest if you need to, heal if you need to, reset if you need to, but don't quit. I remember there was a time when I would have to go on these little road trips and I would take my dog and I would go camping by myself because I needed a reset. Because your future still has purpose attached to it, you have to give yourself grace. This book started as a conversation about professional speaking, but it became a conversation about personal transformation, about confidence, mindset, about growth and resilience. It was about learning and courage and impact. And honestly, that is what walking in Aloha is about too. Living with love. I did a speech and I said, live the love. Because that is what we need to do. We need to live that love. We need to live with purpose, faith, healing, compassion, wisdom, and courage. Not pretending it's easy, but choosing light anyway. Because I was once told, excuse me, that light and darkness cannot live in the same place. If you think about it, the smallest light will take away the darkness. Choosing growth, choosing light, choosing growth, choosing to become anyway, even when things are hard. So tonight I want to also say thank you to all of you who've been walking this journey with me so far. I know that I started over on Facebook, so thank you guys for joining me there, for every comment, for the shares, and for praying, for your prayers and encouraging messages that I get. Mahalo from the heart, from my heart. You may not realize, but your support matters. Every share, every like, every comment truly does matter. It is my hope that what I'm doing helps somebody, helps you. This challenge has stretched me in ways that I didn't expect. And even through hard days, through exhaustion, through my personal struggles and injuries, through the emotional moments where I had to admit that I felt like I was in a funk. And I knew how to get out of it because I've gone through it before. I kept showing up. And maybe that's the lesson tonight. To keep showing up, even imperfectly, even nervously, even while healing. because obedience matters. It matters more than perfection. And before I close tonight, I want you to remember this, that your voice matters. Your story matters. Your growth and healing matters. Most of all, your purpose matters. And there are truly no limits to what you can accomplish when faith, perseverance, discipline, and purpose come together. So keep learning, keep growing, keep speaking, keep expressing yourself, keep healing, and keep becoming. But before I end and hop off for the night, I want to share something that I'm really excited about because I'm done with this book and I want to introduce you to the next 30 days of this 100 days lives in a 100-day challenge. We're shifting into a brand new series. And honestly, I believe this is going to be one of the most important series I've done so far. So, over the next 30 days, I will be talking about all 30 of the universal human rights. Okay. So, I ordered this curriculum. It is Youth for Human Rights. And I will be talking about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And that is 30 human rights that we all have, that we were all born with, that we all have at the moment that were conceived and our hearts start beating in our mother's wombs. We have rights. And that is what I want to talk about. One right each day or night or morning or whenever, but for the next 30 will be one right each day. Not from a place of politics, not from division or even from anger, but from a place of humanity, from dignity, from compassion, from awareness and education. And most of all, from aloha. Because so many people don't even realize these rights exist. And even more people don't realize how many human beings around the world are still struggling to have these rights fully. It is hard. Rights like the right to safety, the right to education, the right to freedom of thought, the right to rest, the right to work, the right to equality, and the right to speak, the right to live free from discrimination, the right to dignity and respect. Those are rights. Those are just not global ideas. Those are your rights. These rights affect real people, real families, real communities, real lives. As someone who believes deeply in faith, healing, leadership, and humanity, I believe conversations like these matter. Jesus cared about people. He saw people. He defended people and uplifted them. And I believe we are called to do the same. So over the next 30 days, we're going to learn together, reflect together, grow together. Some nights may be empowering. Some may be emotional. Some may even challenge the way you think. But my prayer is that every conversation helps us become more aware, more compassionate, more courageous, and more intentional in how we treat one another. Because aloha, it's not just a word, it's a way of living. That is what I was taught ever since I was a kid, to live aloha. It's love, honor, respect, compassion. It's recognizing the humanity in another person. And that aligns beautifully with the heart behind human rights. So if you've been walking this journey with me, I invite you to continue. Um, Hit that notification, that bell, so that you'll know when I come on. Because, sorry, I may be consistent in coming on, but I have a crazy busy life, and there's times when I just don't get on at the exact same time. I do have a consistency in my posts at 5 a.m., but that's about it. So click that bell, that notification, subscribe, and like and comment. Tell me if you know the 30 human rights. Which one would you like to talk about more? Share the lives. Invite others to come on. Join in the conversation in the chat. I don't always monitor the chat when I'm on and I'm talking because then it gets distracting. But bring your thoughts, bring your heart, and bring your willingness to learn, because awareness creates change. And maybe, just maybe, one conversation can plant a seed that changes someone's life forever. I'm excited for this next chapter. I'm excited to do this whole series. So day 47 begins a new journey, the 30 Universal Human Rights series. So until tomorrow, God's blessings always, and a hui ho. Sweet dreams.